Hey, what is going on, guys? DK. Back at you with another video here to bring in the preseason showdown slate between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New Orleans Saints. Week 2, final game of Week 2 preseason. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name's DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. If you're unable to watch these YouTube videos, I also upload on Apple Podcasts. I'll have a link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. And if you could leave a 5-star rating and review, that would help me out a ton. Every single rating and review just boosts me up in those Apple Podcast rankings. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I do offer a few different packages on patreon.com. Esports package includes Call of Duty and CSGO. NFL package, I'm covering preseason. Again, we had slates Thursday through tomorrow. So Thursday through Monday this week. We have one more week left of preseason until the regular season. I do offer NBA, but NBA is not going to be back for another month. And then gold package is a combination of everything, including Discord access. We're talking, showdown slates, in-game showdown slates, all that good stuff. And I do want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring this episode. So, if you guys are not familiar with PrizePicks, well, there are a few different ways you can play for NFL. The first way is just taking over/under on straight-up fantasy points. So, right now, we have 12 players posted for tomorrow's showdown game, and you can go in and take over or under. It's really that simple. Or you can go over to single stat if you feel a little bit better about like rushing yards, passing yards, receiving yards. You can take over unders there. So if you guys want to try it out, you can sign up. Use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word. Link down below. You get a 100% match up to $100. You put $100 in, you will get a free $100 to play with. And before we get in the video, sorry, I can't talk. I just want to give a special shout out to all you guys continuing to come in and watch these videos every single day. Closing in on 10,000 subscribers now, I think 9.65. So if you're watching not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I know about half of the people watching these videos are not subscribed. Also, hit the like button. Let's try to aim for 100 likes on this video, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and you know when I'm live. I will be doing a YouTube live stream general Q&A tomorrow, so make sure to check that one out, guys. All right, so before we get into players and their prices, let's look back at how we did today and last couple days. So preseason NFL, just like summer league, we're rolling. We are doing really, really well. I've been cashing GPPs every single night. So main slate today for me, nothing crazy. This is a min cash, just in the big $10 GPP or whatever it was. But Trey Lance, Brightwell, Dearness Johnson, Tyrone Johnson. I went to him. Talked about this in the Discord with Tyrone Johnson, but he had the Q tag even though he was full go. And it was kind of like the Sternberger argument I made a couple slates ago on Patreon where, Sternberger had that out tag. He wasn't out. He was just, suspended for the first 2 games of the regular season. I knew that would really lower the ownership on Tyrone Johnson, so that's why I went there. 2% ownership. He had 4 catches. I was very high on stacking those Cleveland wide receivers. So they were thin. Cordero Hodge was 13% owned, right? And they had 5 healthy receivers, and 2 of them were not going to play, or 2 of them were going to, the first couple series there with DPJ and Higgins. So really surprised some of that ownership there on those Cleveland Browns. Yeah, Matthews didn't get me anything, but tight end was very, very weak today. Hasty, and then the Browns do as my lineup. But more importantly, I want to show you guys how we've been doing the last couple days here. So again, this was the Sternberger argument I made. That was two days ago. He had the out tag. He was like 10% owned. But here was yesterday. So this was the Saturday slate. $5 into 4,000. I'd say that's a pretty decent ROI. 5 into 4,000. Let's see. My boy Mark, he loves the showdown slates. $120 into 5,000. He took it down. And we had updates on those Rams wide receivers. Again, massive edge here. I was shocked at those Rams receivers. This is 2 days ago, the Saturday slate, but we knew they were going to have like 3 or 4 wide receivers play the entire game, and they were all low owned. Koski Atwal. So yeah, congrats again, Mark. He took it down. Absolutely love to see again. This is the type of stuff. These massive takedowns. This is why I love doing what I do. It really, really does just make my day. Let's see, $18 into 260. $55 into 817. We had another great day today. Showdown, main slate. So, and then one other thing, too, for the 49ers. They had two available running backs today on the Showdown slate. Hasty and Gallman. Gallman was 25% owned. Hasty was 50%. Those guys should have been like 80+% owned. Literally played the entire game. So, again, massive edge here for the preseason. We have been doing phenomenal. Myself, members, takedowns every night, just like the Summer League, and hoping to keep it going for this Showdown slate. Now, what I will say about this Showdown slate, you got to pick your battles. And this is one at the moment that I don't really think there's a big edge. We'll get into the breakdown, but both teams have 4 quarterbacks. Both teams are going to use a lot of running backs in this game. And it's just like, at the moment, as of right now, I don't see a massive edge. So I'm going to play very light. I would recommend, if you're playing the Showdown slate, play light. Unless we get some news, tomorrow that a lot of guys are going to be scratched. At the moment, it feels like a lot of luck is going to be involved in cashing in this slate. But I will do my best to break it down. So we'll start off with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what I want to do here is first show you guys what we saw from them in the first game. So for preseason, this is a nightmare, right? We had 4 quarterbacks play. 4. Beathard, Lawrence, Luton, Minshew, all got about a quarter. That is just gross. I want to throw up looking at that. Let's take a look at the running back position. Dare Ogunbowale was their workhorse back. He had 8 carries. Robinson, Hyde. I don't know why. How is Carlos Hyde on the roster? That beats me. But wide receivers. Josh Hammond's kind of on the end of the bench, and he had 6 catches, but not a ton really to go over here. Tavon Austin had 4 catches. Marvin Jones Jr. 3. Again, Dare Ogunbowale had a couple catches. Colin Johnson actually played the most big body wide receiver, but he only had 1 catch. So that was kind of the review for the Jags in the first game. And now, let's talk about the players. It's really annoying in DraftKings. I don't know why everyone's mixed up. Normally they have quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers, but it's all mixed up. So let's just go to the depth chart here. For the quarterback position, again, it's really hard for me to get excited about any of these quarterbacks with Lawrence, Minshew, Beathard, and Luton. Trevor Lawrence is going to start. I think he probably gets around a quarter. Can he throw a touchdown in a quarter? Sure, it's possible, but it's just looking at these quarterbacks, it's really hard for me to have confidence in any of them. Now let's take a look at the running backs. So, James Robinson's listed at the top of the depth chart. We know he had a good year last year. Carlos Hyde, again, they have him and Robinson 1A, 1B, but Carlos Hyde is washed in this point of his career. And they have rookie Travis Etienne. Didn't get a ton of work last game. However, he is more out there for his pass catching. So a little bit of interest in Travis Etienne. And I think the safest option at the moment is Dare Ogunbowale. Again, he got the most work, 8 carries, a couple catches through the air. So Ogunbowale is probably the safest. Divine Ozigbo only got a little bit of work. So, running back, I would say probably Ogunbowale is the safest option at the moment. Again, starters for the Jags, we probably get a series or 2. We'll get more information, more confirmation on this tomorrow. But that's why it's always important to check back. But I'm expecting couple drives, I would say, from the starters for the Jags. So for running back, again, you have Ogunbowale is probably the safest option. James Robinson in a couple drives, he can get it done. You have Etienne, who's good out of the backfield. Those are probably the 3 backs I'm looking to from the Jaguars. Now going over to wide receiver again, just because they're not organized here, so it's hard for me to to go one by one. I'll say I'm targeting more guys, kind of fighting for roster spots, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the depth chart. So, again, Colin Johnson actually played the most last game. Big body wide receiver. I think he makes for a decent option. We have Laviska Shenault. I believe he had a couple catches last game. Let's see. Where's Shenault? 2 catches on 3 targets. Viable. Philip Dorsett, I think you make the argument for. And Laquan Treadwell, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings. This is kind of where I want to live. And Josh Hammond had the big game last game. He's number 9 right now on the depth chart. Also, Tavon Austin had 4 catches. So yeah, wide receiver, again, they're really spreading it out. And it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of going to come down to like lucking into one of these receivers catching a touchdown. Like both teams are deep at like all positions. Both teams have 4 quarterbacks. Both teams are deep at running back. Both teams have a lot of wide receivers. This is not a situation with the Rams where we had like 3 or 4 guys playing the whole game, or the Browns with their wide receivers, right? This is a situation at the moment where it's like, ugh. So guys I'm looking to, more of the guys fighting for spots. So like Chenault's going to make the roster. I got Colin Johnson, Dorsett, Quan Treadwell, Josh Hammond's probably against ownership. We see the big game last game. I think you can make the argument for Tavon Austin as well. And at the tight end position, there's not much here for Jacksonville. Both teams are actually pretty weak at tight end too. I'm probably not going to roll the dice in any of them in the Showdown site. Now moving on to New Orleans, let's take a look at how their workload is spread out. So New Orleans has 4 quarterbacks as well on the roster. Now, only 3 played. They do have Trevor Siemian as well, so they could play 4. Now, we have Winston that's going to start tomorrow. We have Taysom Hill and Ian Book, and then maybe Siemian gets a little bit of action. With the quarterbacks, Winston, I would say, is probably their best passing quarterback. Taysom Hill actually had a decent game through there, 8 of 12. Now, he didn't run the ball at all, and the Saints have been trying to get him to be more of a pocket passer. So he had no rushes last game, but we know that is possible, Taysom Hill, right? We know he's a guy that can go and get us 30, 40 yards in the ground and a touchdown. So of the quarterbacks here for New Orleans, I think you can make an argument for any of the 3. I think my preferred option would probably be Taysom Hill because he does have that rushing upside, even though he didn't run the ball at all last game. So yeah, Book, Winston, and Taysom Hill all viable, but if I had to pick one, probably would be Taysom Hill for that rushing upside. Now let's take a look at running back here. So let's first go and look at the depth chart for New Orleans. So Kamara didn't play last game. There's a chance he plays this game. That we'll have to keep an eye on. If he does, I think we only get a drive or 2. Now, can you make the argument to play Alvin Kamara in a drive or 2? I think you can. We know how dynamic Alvin Kamara is, and the positive here is if he does play, he's playing with Jameis at quarterback, which is a boost for him. Jameis is the better passing quarterback. We know Kamara gets a lot of his work down through the air. So if we do get confirmation that Kamara is going to play, sure, I'm fine rolling the dice at him. Kamara can go out and get us 6-7 fancy points in one drive, right? So, yeah, I actually do have a little bit of interest in Kamara there if he plays. Again, Latavius Murray, Devontae Freeman both got a little bit of work last game. So we have Latavius 5 carries, Devontae Freeman 6 carries. Both these guys are veterans. So, yes, they're both playable, but I think I'd rather go to a guy like Tony Jones who had 7 carries, also was involved in the passing game, had 5 catches. Right now, he is number 5 in the depth chart. Dwayne Washington barely played. So, of these New Orleans running backs, I think Tony Jones probably looks the best. But then you have Kamara, who I think you could roll the dice on if we get confirmation he's playing. And Murray and Freeman are kind of just like, meh, plays. Right? They're veterans. I don't think they're going to play a ton. All right, so looking at wide receivers for New Orleans last game, we had Juwan Johnson, who's technically a tight end, had 2 catches. Callaway had 3 catches and 4 targets. And Tony Jones, you mentioned him, running back. Lil Jordan Humphrey had 3 catches and 5 targets. Ty Montgomery, former running back, now converted to wide receiver, 2 catches and 3 running backs. So Ty Montgomery went from wide receiver to running back, now back to wide receiver. All right, so let's talk about these wide receivers here for the Saints. Again, we're going to go to the depth chart. So Michael Thomas banged up. Tre'Quan Smith, don't expect to play. We have Callaway, Deontay Harris, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Ty Montgomery. I think this is the sweet spot. I think these guys get a decent amount of work. Lil Jordan Humphrey played the most actually last game for the Saints. So Callaway, Harris, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Ty Montgomery. I think all in play. Montgomery will play out of the slot. Again, Deontay Harris didn't do much last game, so he'll probably be the lowest under the bunch. Callaway had a solid day. With Michael Thomas, Tre'Quan Smith banged up, I would expect, Callaway, Harris, Lil Jordan Humphrey to start. But yeah, I think those are the main guys I'm looking to. We do have Kevin White, formerly of the Bears, on the end of the bench here. But I think it's going to be Montgomery, Humphrey, Deontay Harris, and Marquez Callaway for me at the wide receiver position. And then at the tight end position, probably not going to go to anyone really. Troutman, they have 6 tight ends. Yeah. Now, for kicker for both these teams here, we'll go to New Orleans. And let's go to that depth chart. So they technically have 2 kickers on the roster with Aldrich Rosas and Will Lutz, but Will Lutz is out. He's banged up. He's going to be out for a few weeks. So, yes, I think you can make the argument for Rosas on the slate. He's going to be their only kicker. And with a lot of the positions, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, really spread out. Kickers are actually safer options. Kickers and defenses, who we'll get to, are definitely safe options on the Showdown slate. So Rosas, you can make the argument for. And then for Jacksonville, we have Josh Lambo, who was their only kicker too. So I actually think both kickers are in play here. Lambo, Rosas going to be the only kickers for their respective teams. And then finally, again, the defenses. I think both defenses are definitely in play for a cash game setting. You probably play both. For GPPs, you can make the argument to fade one. The way that neither defense is going to be the winning line if this game turns into a shootout. Now, it is projected to be a little bit higher scoring for the preseason. It's a 40 over under. But, I think both defenses firmly in play here. But, that's going to do it for the video. So you can tell there's no, standout smash plays for me. Now, things could change. Maybe we get some late scratches. But at the moment, I really think you guys should play very light if you're going to play this Showdown slate. I don't really think there's a big edge at the moment. So that's going to do it for the video today, guys. If you have been enjoying the content so far, would really appreciate if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos and when I go live. I will be live tomorrow doing a general Q&A. Make sure to check that out, guys. Answer any questions you have. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow on the live.